All right. Matthew, welcome back.
Let's count Matthew in here. Let's give him a one. Actually, did we give Matthew a round of applause, guys?
All right.
Come on, guys. Let's welcome Matthew back. Matthew Fox, one of our dear friends and patients.
There's fewer equations on the board than last time. This bodes well. All right.
Let's count him on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hit me.
All right, guys. The vacuum energy, lambda, the cosmological constant. It has been said by some people to be one of the greatest mispredictions, if it actually was a prediction, in all of physics. 122 magnitudes off. Why is this? You take the Planck energy, an elementary unit of energy, you divide it by the Planck length cubed, and you're going to get the Planck pressure, which is a ginormous, like 113 pascals. But the vacuum energy is actually 10 to the minus 10. What the heck is going on here? So let's see if we can draw a little intuition here. What would we need to make this actually work? So we get the Planck energy, and if you actually do a little trick, you find that the inverse of it, 1 over it, gets you to the first significant digit and magnitude. That's cool, but we're in the wrong dimensions. So let's just do the naive thing and see what it would take to make it work. We're going to need the unit of energy, the joule here, but we're going to need to square it. So we got 1 joule squared. That will give us very close there, but we're still in the wrong dimensions. We still need to add in a volume element. So let's just use the 1 of length, the meter cubed. This gets us really dang close, but we're still off by just a hair. And then at one point I heard Dr. Sabina Hossenfelder say the vacuum energy is just the curvature of free space. Curvature. Is there something we know that has to do with curvature? We just turned that 1 into a pi, but not quite. We actually need something else. Let's actually move this pi outside the bracket before I get gonged. We get the pi, and then we live in 3 spatial dimensions, so 3. And then this surprisingly has extraordinarily good agreement with the current measured vacuum expectations, or at least the Planck 2015. Once you start having the others, it goes off of it.
All right. Matthew Fox.
Yeah, Matthew.
I was optimistic when we started with so few equations on the board, but...
No, I can bring it together, because to be fair, I've only presented a dinosaur right now. We still haven't formed the Megazord. Shall we form the Megazord? It only requires 1 additional equation.
We gotta back this up a little bit. The cosmological constant is this goop that Einstein shoves into his field equations to make them align with the universe. Is that a layman's approach to this situation? Is that fair?
It's basically in Einstein's mind at the time, to my knowledge, is he believed that we had a static universe, because that's basically what most people thought of at the time. So we included a particular term that could actually be fudged in different ways to help make the universe as we know it static. And then we had additional observations from the Hubble telescope and everything. It's like, it looks like it's accelerating. So he's like, I goofed. This is my biggest blunder of my life, something like that.
So the universe, we're told in the standard lambda CDM, the standard Big Bang narrative, the universe is expanding. And Einstein didn't like that.
That seems like a good approximation to it. So we incorporated this term. We didn't think it would actually matter, and then fast forward to I think about 1998, 1999. It's like, it actually looks like it is expanding at an accelerating rate, which seemed very weird. And now we're getting, with the James Webb, we're getting additional data. So maybe it was stronger in the past. Maybe it's weakening. That's one of the reasons it's cosmological constant.
And so you're trying to say, hey, maybe this term that Einstein needed actually says something interesting about what's happening in the universe, to do with the vacuum energy, something that's happening in between the atoms.
Well, the vacuum energy itself, it's basically, that's what we get from measurements. So this happens to replicate the observed measurements pretty well. Some folks can disagree with it. That's fine. And then all you do is you literally multiply it by the Einstein Kappa term over here, which is that 8 pi Newtonian gravitational constant over the speed of light to the 4th power there. Now you look at that, and I know you guys have interviewed Dr. Salvatore Pais on the channel, and he had actually brought this up, and I tried his method, because that's literally just the Planck force with an 8 pi on it. That's literally, because he said that. I know Rick gave a presentation here. He used the 8 pi. Dr. Salvatore Pais is a little hesitant, but when you put that in, the interesting thing is you can redo this a little bit. So this all ends up just going to, because it's 8 pi and we got a pi there, it just ends up being 8 pi squared over 3. And then that's the Planck force. So we just combine it with all that. So that's times the elementary unit, the reference 1 of energy, the joule squared, times, I'm just going to write down energy E sub P for the Planck energy, times F sub P for the Planck force, meters cubed, and we get very high agreement with what's currently out there. Again, if you include the higher distance supernova things, at 76 kilometers per megaparsec. There.
So what is it?
What does this mean? What's the frame
I did this
that
for
I'm
a
hanging
reason.
this on?
I'll break it down.
All right.
You see all this jazz here? This is a numerical factor. Okay. That's geometry there. Okay, so we have energy squared. What the heck is this dang term? Okay. The reason why is I had no idea what this dang term was until I took the square root of it. This actually comes out to be energy squared over bending stiffness squared.
So you're talking about the stiffness of the vacuum medium.
Oh, so you think that it has a physical characteristic?
I think that's what we're dancing around.
Okay.
So it may lead to, again, the interesting thing is if you just take this number and you take the square root of it, you conspicuously get about the radius of our observable universe. So this whole thing, perhaps it's just an illusion to our measurement here. So maybe that's an option.
I'm always suspicious of measurements that end up confirming some observation that we've made, or they neatly divide into something that we've already concluded about the universe, where it makes me feel like there's a little bit of circular definition happening, where it's like one thing happens, hangs on another, hangs on another, hangs on another. Look, I want you to come back and I want you to give me something that has more handles on it. Like, this is too deep. I want to see a theory about like what studying these mathematics gives us. Does that feel fair as a starting point? Because I feel like there's a whole world.
I think you've stumbled upon some sort of patterns that are actually probably quite profound. But I think that we should really focus next time on the significance of what understanding the stiffness of space-time means for us in terms of our future.
I got excited. I thought this was a cool thing. There's a number of other things, and I think one of the things we need to stress is the unreasonable effectiveness of SI. That's probably the core that would have built up better to this to give us more of a framework. So, cool. Great suggestion.
Yeah, by unit, you mean SI like units. Is that what you mean? Yeah. Yes. All right, Chris, did we lose you completely?
It's a little bit above my pay grade in theories, yes. So I would say yes. I mean, I want to keep up desperately, but
this is actually a great opportunity, because I'm like, I think that what we aim for when we're building these theories is we want to make it so that people who understand things at a deep level can talk to people who don't understand them yet. And so it is, on one level, an opportunity to present some theory of how nature works. But I think that it's also a measure of, like, how well can we take each other along for the ride?
Totally agree. It all boils down, in my opinion, to just stuff doing things. What the particular stuff and things we're talking about, it may vary in complexity.
And that's the final frontier, as far as I can tell. It's pulling these patterns out and then assigning physical relevance to them. And so let's keep working on it, man. I think we should just tear apart one of these ideas. You know, we do this every month, dude. I'd love to have you come back and develop this one step further. But yeah, man, thank you, Matthew. I love seeing you, dude. It's always good to see you. Guys, give Matthew a hand. What the heck? Come on. Where's our come on.